Today I want to do something very simple. So I want to compare and contrast 5 big bank loans for fair credit and very low income. So we're going to compare and contrast Wells Fargo, US Bank, PNC, Key Bank, and Citibank. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sort of Q Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you had to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, we have a very simple premise. We want to compare and contrast 5 big bank loans for fair credit and very low income. So if you are in that category, let's say you have low income and you have fair credit, if you have that combo, you want to listen on, okay? The first bank, so here is a review, okay? I want to first start with Wells Fargo. So when you think about Wells Fargo, what we love with Wells Fargo is they are very generous. You are talking about a maximum loan amount of, guess what? $100,000. Yes, you heard it right, $100,000. And the minimum age is $3,000. So when you look at this is a big delta, $3,000 to $100,000. This is really good, and the APR is kind of cool too. So you are looking at 5.74 to 19.99%. This is really good. So Wells Fargo personal loan is a good choice in our view for borrowers looking for large loans with flexibility. Okay, and so if you have a very low income, fair credit, not a problem. Okay, now if you have a very low income, you might not qualify for the maximum amount. But hey, listen, even if you get 10 grand or 25 grand, this is still good, right? What are the pros and cons? The pros: no origination or prepayment fee, joint loan option is available, offers wide range of loan amounts and repayment terms, rate discount for autopay, which you want to sign up for. This is important. And they are able to fund loans the same day or next business day. This is really good. Now, the only drawbacks in our view is that there is no option to pre-qualify, and some features are available only to existing customers. Okay, so when you think about that loan in general, this is a great loan. If you have a fair credit, you can qualify, not a problem. Okay, they accept co-borrower. Okay, this is really good. And the good thing is that they are available. This is a big national bank. They are available in all 50 states. Okay, this is really great. And Wells Fargo has stellar customer service. In the last few years, they have actually beefed up their customer service. Really great going forward. So when you think about where Wells Fargo stands out, we believe that the auto pay discounts, fast funding, they offer joint loans, direct payment to creditors if you have a balance transfer loans, okay, and you have a wide range of repayment terms. So this is really great. So if you want to qualify for Wells Fargo loan, you only need to have a $12,000 minimum income. Okay, you want to submit employment and income information, among others. Let me talk to you about Citibank. So when we talk about Citibank, we're not talking about 100,000. With Citibank, the amounts are lower here. Okay, so you're looking at $2,000 to 30 grand. So $2,000 to $30,000. The APR oscillates from 7.99% to 23.99%. Okay, and here are the pros and cons. So pros: no origination or prepayment fees. They offer mobile app to manage the loan, and they also offer the same autopay discount that Wells Fargo has. So 0.5% off if you set up autopay. Now, the cons: there is no option to pre-qualify. You must be an existing Citibank customer. Okay, you have no option to choose or change your payment date, and they don't have options for co-sign, joint, or secure loan options. Okay, so I just want to give you an overview here. So when we talk about the Citibank loan, I've told you before, it goes from 2 grand to 30 grand, okay? And you gotta be a Citibank customer, all right? They ain't letting to you if you're not a Citibank customer. And similarly to Wells Fargo, The loan is available in all 50 states. This is really good. And so if you or whatever you are, you can qualify, not a problem. And so this is where we believe Citibank loans really stands out. The rate discount, really good. Okay. And the lender, Citibank, offers an additional 0.25 discount to Citi Gold and Citi Priority customers. So if you maintain a sizable deposit at the bank, you are automatically part of the Citi Gold category. Okay, and the loan also has no origination or prepayment fees. This is really good when you think about big banks not charging you anything to originate the loan. We love that. And you also have a wide range of repayment terms. Okay, and you have the option to manage your loan through the app. So this is really good. So to qualify for a Citibank loan, they are only asking you to have minimum annual income of $10,500. This is really great. Okay, and so you can qualify. So again, remember the delta here, $2,000 to 30 grand. One thing I want to say before ending here is that you stand a better chance to apply at a branch. Wells Fargo, you can apply online, over the phone, or at the branch. But with Citi, one thing we have seen is that your approval odds multiply really, really greater if you apply at a branch. Very important to remember. I want to talk to you now about US Bank. Well, the cool thing about US Bank is here is a bank that is not present nationally. However, they kick ass like crazy in the states where they're present. Okay, and so again, their personal loans are available to existing customers who live near a branch. Okay, this is really good. And the cool thing we also love about US Bank's loan is that you have a wide range of loan amounts. You have fast funding, which is great for a big bank. Okay, and one thing I want to say, here are the pros and cons. Pros, they offer a 0.5 percentage point auto pay. Okay, this is so all the banks so far that we have seen, they offer that. They have no origination fee or prepayment fees. Okay, they offer a wide range of loan amount. They're able to fund loans within 1 business day. Okay, and they also have a mobile app. Now, the cons in our view, similarly to the other banks, there is no option to pre-qualify. So you are just looking, just expect a hard pull right off the bat. Okay, and they are available. Another drawback is that they are only available in a limited number of states. Okay, US Bank is not present nationally. You're talking about 25 states. So this is half of the states in the union. Okay, and they may require you to make an in-person visit. Okay, they just want to look at you or whatever. And the one thing I want to say here is that to apply for this loan, you must live near a branch. Okay, and this is the restriction we believe that's just making this loan a little difficult. So the loan is not available in Alabama, Alaska, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii. We have Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, okay, Massachusetts, Michigan. You have Missouri, you have New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Texas, Vermont, Virginia, and West Virginia, and Washington, D.C. So this is a big chunk of the U.S. population that is excluded. But again, if you live in the states where they cover, where they're present, this could be good. So U.S. Bank stands out, in our view, when it comes to their auto pay discount, the fact that they offer joint and secure loans. Okay, you can actually, they have quick funding, which is really great. And you have a wide range of loan amounts. I didn't say that, but their loan amounts actually range from $1,000 to $50,000. That's a good delta also. Okay, 1,000 to 50 grand. This is really good. And one thing I want to say here, to qualify for the US Bank loan, the minimum income you should have per year is $15,000. $15,000. I want to talk to you about PNC Bank. Here's another great institution that has been accomplishing stellar things in the last few years. We have been following them. We did a lot of reviews about them. So PNC Bank is kind of cool. And actually, one thing we have seen is that their loan offerings vary by zip code. Okay, so they actually customize their loan offerings. And one thing I want to say here, so the loan amount goes from $1,000 to 35 grand. So you're looking at a good delta here also. And the estimated APR goes from 5.99% to 28.74%. And here are the pros and cons Here, so the pros: no origination fee. They offer a joint loan option. You have a wide constellation of repayment terms, and existing customers can get a 0.25 percentage point rate discount. So while everybody was giving you a 0.5%, PNC Bank is giving you an auto pay discount of 0.25%. So be aware of that if you want to go with PNC Bank, okay? And what about the cons? They charge a late fee. They may require an in-person visit, and product varies by location. So this is a little difficult to estimate, because depending on where you live, you might get a different product. Okay. So one thing I want to say here is that you can apply online for a loan from all 50 states. But the zip code you plug into PNC's website could have an impact on the maximum loan amount and interest rate you see, plus the ability to pre-qualify. So we can say with assurance that PNC Bank is a national player, but they have bespoke products based on where you live, okay? And so PNC Bank is best for borrowers who have fair or good credit, borrowers who may want to add a co-borrower to their application, and borrowers who want a wide range of repayment terms to choose from, or if you want a smaller loan. Remember, the loan range goes from $1,000 to $35,000, okay? And PNC stands out really when we talk about customer experience, transparency, loan flexibility. For instance, they offer joint loans. This is really good. They offer flexible repayment terms. This is really good. And they also offer small loans. Think about it, because their loans start at $1,000. So applicants who are looking for smaller loans to cover smaller expenses, they can apply for a loan suited to their needs. Not a problem, okay? And this amount is unique among lenders, with most loans starting at $2,000 or higher. So if you want to qualify for a PNC loan, just make sure that you make at least $18,000. Remember, you need to show proof of income. Very important. Let me talk to you now about the fifth player in today's list. We have here KeyBank. So when you think about KeyBank, I would just want to say that KeyBank is another big player that is kicking ass crazily lately, and they're located. I think there is a geographic restriction with KeyBank. However, the bank has a good product in terms of their loan amount. The minimum loan amount is $5,000, and the maximum $50,000. However, if you want to borrow more than $50,000, you have to apply at a KeyBank branch. They want to see your ass, okay? But the loan, you can use a loan for a lot of things. I mean, you can use a loan for consolidating high interest debts, buying a car, paying for home renovations or repairs, planning a wedding or a vacation, covering medical bills. I mean, really, the choice is yours. That's your call what you do with the money, okay? And the good thing is that we love the fact that KeyBank in the last few years has transformed itself from a brick and mortar bank, okay, into a modern technologically inclined company. So here are the pros and cons. So pros: interest rate can be competitively low, okay? Flexible repayment periods. You can earn KeyBank rewards, okay? The cons: there might be some origination fee, which is really something that we don't like at all, but KeyBank has that. Okay, so you want to keep that in mind if you want to go with them. There might be a possible prepayment penalty. So if you sign up for 5 years and you want to pay off the full balance within 3 years, they might charge you a prepayment penalty. And funding can take a week. So KeyBank, in terms of all the 5 banks we have actually reviewed today, they are really, really slow, okay? And currently, KeyBank has branches in Alaska, Colorado, Connecticut, Idaho, Indiana, Massachusetts, Maine, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Utah, Vermont, and Washington. So you can see that they're not as national as we would like the bank to be, okay? But there are a lot of benefits when we think about a KeyBank loan. So they have a lot of benefits. You are talking about competitive fixed rates, okay? So this is kind of cool. You are talking about flexible repayment terms, and you also can earn KeyBank relationship rewards. Okay, and although there might be some fees, okay, there might be an origination fee of 125, which is pretty steep though, if you were to ask me. So and then you might have a prepayment penalty of 150 if you pay your loan off in the first 18 months. Okay, that's something you need to think about. And if you want to increase your chances of approval, just make sure that you apply at a branch. Okay, you want to apply at a branch. You want to consider a key bank account. In other words, you want to beef up your your banking relationship with KeyBank. Okay, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sorted Kiwi Show. We are still talking about this compare and contrast between the five big banks in the States. So we have Wells Fargo, Citibank, US Bank, PNC Bank, and KeyBank. One thing I want to do before actually giving you our pick based on those five players, you need to understand that before you apply, and no matter what institution you choose, there are a few things I want you to pay attention to so that you can actually boost your chances of being approved, okay, right off the bat. And I'm insisting on right off the bat. I want you to be approved immediately. First, you want to check your credit score and history. So obviously we are speaking here about a fair credit and low income, but chances are, if you check your credit history, maybe you might be able to beef it up. You might be able to improve it. If you see something like inaccuracies, or you have some derogatory items or some adverse items or whatnot, you can actually you can file dispute letters and whatnot. You can do a lot of things. Okay, and check your income. Make sure that you are able to show proof of income and proof of employment. Think about your DTI, your debt to income ratio. Very important. You want to think about your collateral just in case you want to secure the loan. All these loans that we have talked about today are unsecured, but you never know, And also think about an origination fee. You can see that all these five banks, out of the five banks, only KeyBank charges an origination fee. So if you're really worried about that, you don't like the sound of it at all, so you want to stay away, you want to steer clear of that bank, okay? And so if you want to qualify for a personal loan, make sure that you have consistent and steady income. And this applies to any bank, okay? Any bank. Minimum credit score, 670. Now, if you have a less than 670, let's say you have a 600 or a 570, make sure that you choose a bank with which you currently have a relationship, and a bank with which you have direct deposit, so they can see that you are making money and you are parking your cash with them. Okay, and make sure that your DTI ratio is less than 30 to 36%. We've said on this show before that it's always great to have a DTI as low as possible, a CUR as low as possible also. So as long as you are, let's say you are just within 1/3 of your, if your DTI is 1/3 of, is 33%, then you are really good. This is really good, okay? So those are things you need to think about before you even apply for a loan. Now, I want to give you a few pro tips before we actually give you the decision. One thing you need to understand is that if you were denied, because at the end of the day, credit is a game. I've said this before on this show and other shows. Chances, there's no guarantee that you will be approved, right? We are giving you here the tips and tricks that you can apply to multiply your chances of being approved. But you could be denied, okay? So if you are denied, if any of these five banks, or any bank for that matter, denies you, there are things you can do. So first, ask for the specific reason your application was rejected, okay? They have, by law, they have an obligation. It is mandatory for them to provide you with the reasons why you were rejected. So you have a clear idea where you stand, so you know what to fix before you reapply, okay? And you want to review your loan application for mistakes or inaccuracies. Maybe you change your name, you were married and you just change your names, or you were a victim of identity theft and something happens, your credit is messed up, but not because of you, but because of third parties, okay? You can try to improve your credit score. In other words, you want to pay down your current outstanding debt. In other words, you want to lower your DTI, you want to lower your CUR. This could help you Okay, and if there are mistakes on your credit report, also you want to pay attention to that. I mean, we have said that, I've said this before in this show, maybe 5 minutes ago, that your credit score must be spotless. I'm not saying it should be perfect, but it must be spotless in terms of any blemish that is not relevant, that is not valid, should not be on your credit report. So check your credit report for mistakes, for inaccuracies and whatnot. You want to work on increasing your income, because this is important. I mean, in terms of DTI, you know that this fraction has two components, right? Debt and income. So either you reduce your debt, not either. You got to do both simultaneously if you can, but if you cannot, at least do one. So reduce your debt or increase your income. So this is a fraction. So this is what you can do to increase the results, and compare lender requirements. I mean, I've given you names. I've given you numbers, okay, loan amounts, APR. So you want to sit down and really run the numbers, make sure that you are choosing the right bank for you, okay, and apply for smaller loan amounts. So if you get denied for a big loan amount, apply for a small loan amount and consider using a cosigner. Because the whole thing is you want to boost your chances of getting the loan. So, all options on the table. They are on the table. So now we have the decision. So Wells Fargo versus US Bank versus PNC versus Key Bank versus Citibank. Which one should you choose? I first want to ask you, where you banking? Where you banking at? Because you got to start from there, because you can see that all those banks, at least most of them, require you to be a customer. Otherwise, they're giving you they're not even considering your application. So where do you currently bank? That's the first criterion you want to pay attention to. And number two, you want to look for the bank with the highest auto-pay discount, because those auto-pay discounts are very important. If you go from a 0.5% to 0.25%, that delta of 0.25% plays a huge role, because if you have, let's say you have a 50 grand loan and you are actually spreading that over 6 years or 7 years, that's 84 months. So this really counts, okay? And you also want to make sure that you want to look at their requirements, the loan application itself, okay? Their proof of identity, what kind of ID are they asking for? Driver's license, passport, certificate of citizenship, birth certificate, social security number, military ID. So military ID, it really depends. So you want to take a look at their identification requirements. You also want to, I'm giving you here the tools to actually make the right decision. That's all. Okay. And so what about their employer and the income verification process? Are they flexible, or they want sign from your employer that you indeed work there? And what kind of requirements, what kind of documents, what kind of paperwork are they asking for? Are they asking for pay stubs, returns, tax returns, W-2s and 1099s, bank statements, employer contact information? It's all about making sure that you have all the requirements beforehand. And what about the proof of address? Okay. And what about their expense lineup? In other words, now some banks want to have a window into your budget. They want to see what kind of expenses you have. They want to see what kind of income do you have. That's how they're able to calculate your DTI in the first place. Okay, to see if you have a high DTI or a comparatively low DTI comparatively to other borrowers in your zip code or in your professional category, in your income category. So I'm just giving you a few things, a few tools to make the right decision, okay, between Wells Fargo, US Bank, PNC, Key Bank, and Citibank. So I also want to share with you, we have an approach here on this show when it comes to reviewing, categorizing, and listing personal loans. I want you to check out this video right now. Okay. After analyzing those 5 players, Wells Fargo, US Bank, PNC, KeyBank, and Citibank, our pick is Wells Fargo. Okay, and we love Wells Fargo, and so here are our ratings. Wells Fargo 9.8 over 10, US Bank 9.1 over 10, KeyBank 8.7 over 10, PNC 8.3 over 10, and Citibank 6.9 over 10. Wells Fargo is kind of cool. I mean, they are giving you up to $100,000. This is really great, and they have good conditions. They have a great customer service. They have a decent APR, so it's a winner in our view. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.